Before I get into today's video, remember to follow me on Twitter. So my Twitter, the link is in the description below. You can also find me. My handle is @JacksonKruger. Come over, say hi, and anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. So there's been a bit of talk about Tutu Atwell. I think unfortunately for him, a lot of it has been centered around people felt like he was drafted too early, which, that's not his fault. He didn't choose when he was drafted. I do think that, Terrace Marshall's still on the board. Tutu Atwell goes instead. That was a bit surprising to me personally, right? I thought that Marshall should have gone ahead, but I do understand why they like Atwell. I think they feel like he fits the scheme a little bit better. There is some good in Atwell, and I think, one thing is we just saw him play a ton of preseason. I mean, he basically just played the preseason like it's the regular season, which maybe is a negative given the fact that the Rams do typically put their, second and third string guys out there during the preseason. They don't have their superstars play a lot, but they might have just felt like, hey, this guy's a rookie. We need to get him some more reps. Let's put him into preseason. I could totally see something like that as well. I thought that there was some legitimately good stuff with Tutu Atwell. So let's just get into the film study and talk about what I like about Atwell and what I don't like about Atwell. Because listen, there's both sides of the coin for sure. All right, so we'll start things off with this play. What's going to happen is that it's zone coverage, quarters coverage, and you see the route that he's going to be running, where he kind of fakes as though he's going over the middle, as this is going to be a play action to the offense's left, so everyone's going to kind of start off in that direction. But then he's going to run to the right, and it's just going to be, he's the underneath route. You have a couple of routes further deep as well that you could maybe throw to, but if Atwell is open, you'll just throw it to him and see what happens. I will say there's two things you're going to want to notice. First is going to be the route, and then what happens after that. I would say this route that he ran, very good. I mean, he gets open, but the issue is just that 22 there is able to come over and make the play quickly, which is unfortunate. I don't really consider that a bad play at all from Atwell, though. I think it's a good play. He ran the route well. There was just also a defensive player who saw it and was able to run over and make a quick tackle. So, I don't know. To me, I think that that's actually promising. It shows some good route running. Now, we'll go over to this play. One of the biggest things talked about with Atwell is how small he is. I mean, 5'9" isn't overwhelmingly short. I mean, there are guys who can play, sub 6 feet for sure, but 165 is incredibly light for an NFL player. I mean, he's not a big player by any means, and I'll be honest, it was noticeable. I mean, it's noticeable just watching him on the field. He looks smaller than everybody else, but he also just, the way he blocks, it wasn't great on this play. He has a one-on-one matchup against a cornerback right here. So it's not like he's going up against linebackers. I mean, that's a given. But, the Rams, they do like to have their receivers block, which is something that they value. I'm not sure how well Atwell can do that kind of thing, because watch. I mean, look, he's going to get into position and everything. I mean, this stuff is good. Like, he's not doing anything wrong right here. He's just not big enough, quite frankly. Watch him get pushed back, and there's going to be that immediate tackle right there. I mean, maybe not even immediate. It was a good piece of running by 34, but Atwell definitely blew that block. There's no getting around that, and it's not really a bad play by him. He's just not big enough. I mean, size is a thing in the blocking game. There's a reason why you don't see too many offensive linemen who are 5'9", 165 pounds. You need to have size, and it's certainly a negative aspect. It just is. But then you would get stuff like this, which I thought this play was awesome. It's similar to that first play. It's just going to be better. It's man coverage, so this is where that stuff can come into play a little bit more. The Rams are a team that they like to thrive off of zone. They might be up against a bit more man coverage than usual this year, just given with the Cam Akers injury. They might just have less of a running game. Again, Atwell's route, he fakes as though he's going over the middle, but then it's going to go to the outside, and watch what happens. I mean, look at this. Look at this footwork, and then he just, boom, gets completely open. The throw was even a little bit late, so he could have potentially gained more yards. He only gains a few yards. So again, these good routes aren't coming into becoming great plays, but I feel like there was some good tackling by the Raiders, and again, maybe that goes back to Atwell's height and weight a little bit, of he is an easier guy to tackle than some of these other guys, but I also think that it's just circumstance, and you can have him run these routes further down the field if you want to get more yards. And something like this I thought was good as well. This is going to be a good piece of route running. So it's cover 2 zone. You have the number 1 receiver, who I believe is a tight end on this play, is just going to be going deep. That hopefully gets the corner to follow him. You didn't have Atwell kind of get into that zone eventually, but you don't want to just run right there because then another Raiders player will just simply see you and get in that direction. Obviously, Atwell, the guy I've circled in white. But watch how Atwell is going to run this route. It's the correct way to do this. Look at how he's not giving anything away at the beginning. He kind of did creep a little bit over, but it's not enough that you're going to say, oh, he's definitely running an out right here. I have to make sure I get over there. You still have to respect that he could be going over the middle, could be running deep, could be coming back. You don't know where he's going at this point, which is what Atwell is trying to do on this play. So then again, he cuts very well. He is going to be able to make this grab, gets a bit more yards there. So again, I thought the receiving game was promising. Yes, he is small. We all know that Tutu Atwell is small. No one is surprised by this fact, but he can cut very well, which is nice to see, moves very well, and I think he can fit this Rams offense very well as well. I mean, listen, Atwell was not a super hyped up prospect, and Terrace Marshall was. So the fact that they're the same position and you draft Atwell ahead of Marshall, yeah, you're going to get some criticism. You are. Does that mean that he's a horrible player? No, there's stuff to like. I guess the real question comes in to me, he does feel like a clear wide receiver 4, and even that he's going to have to earn, I think, because you have Deshaun Jackson there. So again, how good is Deshaun Jackson at this point? Who knows? But, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Van Jefferson, to me, are clear wide receiver 1, 2, 3s. But again, wide receivers around this time in the draft, getting a second or third round wide receiver, as an analytics guy, I say do that as much as you can, because those are the guys that tend to break out and be really good. So I don't hate the decision to go wide receiver, and I like the player. I think he will fit that Rams offense very well. So on the other hand, I do understand the criticisms people have of the pick. And, again, he's a small guy, right? I mean, he's someone who I could push around, and I'm not, I'm 5'10", so it's not like I'm some huge guy. But at the same time, listen, he's a receiver. His job is to catch a football. His job is not to block. Yeah, okay, he's small. He's not a great receiving wide receiver. One thing I did notice that the Rams did, which I think is smart, is use him in some jet sweep stuff. So that way you're taking away, he runs to one side. A defender has to go over there to cover that. Well, now he doesn't have to block. Now he's just being a disguise, which, you don't have to block there. Do stuff like that. Help him out, which I think the Rams will be able to do. So again, I get the criticisms. I do. But the Rams have a pretty complete roster. Why not spend a day 2 pick on depth? I think that there's some logic there. I do. So, yep. Anyways, that's what I think about Tutu Atwell. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Atwell? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.